Yo, what's up, guys? Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going today? Alrighty, let's start the live stream. Let some people get online. Alrighty. Oh, that's really too bright. Alright. How's everyone doing? You guys doing good? I'm doing really good. Doing very well. My dog's doing well. My puppy is amazing. Everything is good. On a crazy win streak for the past January 28, 29, 30, 31. I guess like 5 days. I'm on a $12,000 win streak. 0 losing days. Of course, I lost some trades, but 0 losing days in general. And we're gonna take a look at how Bitcoin's trending today, and then we're going to review some of the trades that I took, because I started reviewing a lot of the trades that I took with my Discord group, and they found it very helpful because I went over step by step the timing of when I entered and when I exited, why I entered, why I exited. And if you watch a lot of different live trades and see the habits of professional traders, you're going to eventually pick up on some of those habits as well. The best way to always learn how to day trade is from personal experience and from personal mistakes that you've made. Every time you make a mistake, you have to fine tune it. And what I always tell people is that when you do make a mistake, you better be writing that shit down. I know a lot of traders out there that have completely failed out of trading. They're back to their real life jobs. And I kept telling them one thing that they didn't do that separated the good traders from the bad traders. These bad traders that go back to their normal jobs, they don't document. They don't record shit. I keep a notebook next to my desk for a reason. It's always here with me, and this notebook always writes down the mistakes that I make or the good things that I do that I can focus on. You guys always have to have a pen with you at all times. Like, there's no reason why you shouldn't have, like pens, papers, erasers on your desk. You should be writing this shit down all the time. So every time you make a mistake, just trust me when I tell you this, guys, that a lot of traders, they don't review their trades for shit. They're just gonna like mentally review their trade, or they're gonna go over it very briefly if they lose a trade. And they'll be like, this is why I lost the trade. I lost the trade because of this. I'll try to prevent it next time. But the thing about just mentally making a note and pinning it in your head is that you're gonna forget it. I'm sorry to say, but 99.999999% of us do not have an eidetic memory where we can memorize everything and never forget. Fuck, I wish I was like that, but I'm not like that. You're not like that. So if you keep mentally just pinning it and saying like, oh, I'm going to improve from these mistakes, I know exactly what to not do again, you're going to forget about it. By the time that you go to the next trade, it's long gone already, your mistake. So the best way is to document, guys. Document with a book, okay, with a notepad every single time, with a pen, with a pencil, okay, with an eraser. Write down the things that you did wrong and start categorizing it. Because every day you should be writing down the mistakes and then review it in the morning when you wake up and at night before you go to bed. This way it starts to be drilled into your head. Even look at your notepad and the mistakes that you made before you enter a trade and even during a trade, right? You have to also make it very, very specific. These trades that you write down, these mistakes, they need to be specific. If you want to go one step even further, you could make a video, like how I'm making a video right now. Record the video of what you did wrong right after you took the trade, okay? And then you can categorize them as well. So when you see these mistakes, if you're about to repeat the same mistake next time, watch the video that you just made of yourself or that you made prior of yourself making that mistake. And it should remind you, fuck, I don't want to do this again, right? So the only way to ultimately be truly successful is to eliminate these stupid mistakes that you're making time and time again. And it's until you eliminate these mistakes, that's where you're going to be able to focus on protecting your profits and finally growing it. And there's so many people out there that are like, 3 months they're trading, they're making profit after profit, 3 months of solid trading. And guess what? They wiped out like 50% of their 3-month profit in one fucking trade. Like, I'm sure you've all been there. Every single person's been there. But the good traders out there, the ones that are actually successful, They know to never let this shit happen. They stick to their stop losses, they're disciplined, they adhere to their rules that they make, and they don't let big mistakes happen like this. You are not allowed to ever make a big mistake if you want to be successful long term. When you're new, you can have these little mistakes, these big mistakes, but if you don't stop making these huge mistakes, you will never get to that $1 million status, okay? Like, you will never trade the hundreds of thousands of dollars unless you truly eliminate these stupid fucking mistakes that all newer traders make. If you know what mistakes newer traders make, you will easily be able to learn from it and try to prevent it, which gives you a huge edge over the shitty people that came, they saw, and they left, and they're gone. You know? That's it. So anyways, let's get into this right now. Oh no, I'm using a camera on my desk here. That's why it's shaking and I'm like fucking moving and stuff. So let's just keep going. So anyways, right now, if you guys haven't been to my Twitter yet, I felt like making a really huge sale because one, it's the beginning of the month, and two, I'm on a massive $12,000 win streak right now with no losing days. If you guys have not seen the deal yet, I haven't really replied to a lot of people. Every month, I'm going to allow 5 people to get basically an 80% off discount. Okay, normally it's $1,000, but it's on sale 80% off to $200, and only 5 people will get it. The 6th person that DMs me, I'm gonna say too bad. I'm gonna stick to only 5 people, and what you're gonna get is a lifetime Discord membership to my private trading group. You're also gonna get my newest Ultimate Bull Market Survival Guide course. And you're also going to get access to my newest Chandelier Exit Indicator as well. All the links are below. If you want to see the Day Traders Club and exactly what it is, you can go to the link below, go check out the course syllabus here as well, and DM me. I'll send you all of the details if you want to buy this. But once again, only 5 people are going to get this 80% off sale, so you better DM me quickly. Okay, let's get into the market analysis right now and jump right into it. Okay, I'll give you guys more tips and more tricks later. So people, like, by the way, there's a lot of annoying people out there that are like, just jump right into the technical analysis, man. You're talking too much, you know, get to the point. Those are the people that basically want things handed to them on a silver platter. And they don't understand that it's the details that matter. Okay, the details in the process is what truly matters. And if people want the too long, didn't read version, those are usually the people that will never make it in crypto as well because they're looking for shortcuts. Okay, let's jump into it. So right now, Bitcoin is doing a retracement to the upside, and there's no doubt about it that we've hit a wall right now from the February 15 range, okay? Over here. I'm gonna change my camera to this one because this one's better, I think. It's not shaking. Yeah, I don't think this one's shaking. Yeah, this one's a better view. Next time I talk, I'll talk in this view. This is a way better one. Okay. We see this resistance, right? It's not really that great of a resistance, but nevertheless, this is a range. So I've been telling people this simple logic, okay? First of all, when we go back in time, we see that Bitcoin has made basically 4 waves so far, okay? But there's a 5th wave that's missing. And in the 5th wave, we have to consider when it could possibly begin. So just assuming that this was the count, which it most likely is, and now let's assume that the 4 was in. Okay, just hypothetically, the 4 is now in, and a 5 could begin. Well, wave 2 only retraced 236 Fibonacci level. It's not really that much. And also, wave 4 retraced only a 236 Fibonacci level again, which is really not that much. What are the chances of 2 corrective waves retracing the same amount? Really low, in my opinion. If it retraced so little, then it must mean that this wave would be super freaking parabolic and bullish, which I don't think is possible. Does that make sense? Because of the little retracement. Also, this right here, wave 2, was 100, or wave 2, how long was this? Let me just double check this again. 119 days, I believe. So this 148 days, sorry. 148 day rally, followed by a 12-day correction. Does that sound right to you? 148-day rally followed by a 12-day correction. No, it doesn't sound right. What sounds more right is that maybe something will form like a pattern. If it is this bullish, there's probably going to be some long, drawn-out pattern. Maybe an ascending triangle will form. Maybe a symmetric triangle will form. Maybe some sort of wedge will form as well. Maybe some sort of channel will form as well. Okay, but either way, I expect some sort of pattern to form. That's more likely to occur than something like this. Something where we're just gonna get a little correction of 12 days and then boom, we spike up. It makes a lot more sense rationally and logically that a correction is more likely to ensue. In fact, we might even get a lower low still. If we take a look at the bull market support band, okay, the bull market support band, okay, is a combination of the 20 SMA and the 21 EMA on the weekly. So even if I go to a 2-hour time frame, it doesn't matter. This bull market support band is only representing on a weekly no matter what. What we see is that multiple times it ends up oscillating, okay? So if we go back to Bitcoin's history index, okay, of the bull market support band, what we're gonna see on, for example, a weekly chart is that this right here, okay, this is where the year began. Notice how many times it touches it. And did you notice this is also the halving year? In the halving year, we ended up getting a 25% drop at the beginning of the year, just like how we got a 15% drop currently right now already, right? Or was it a 20% drop? I think it was 22%, 22. And do you notice the bull market support band? So if we're above it, we're bullish. If we're below it, we're bearish. And this is a really good band that indicates how bullish we are or bearish we are or how neutral we are. Okay, so we see here that it made many touches at the bull market support band. 2016 was a halving year. It touched it there, there, there. And then you can see here after the halving, we shot up huge after the halving. Okay, the halving was around this period. Accumulation occurred, shot up, and it came back down to retest. Okay, came back down to retest over here, right there, right there, right there, and right there. Multiple times in 2016 leading up to the 2017 bull market. And you can also see here that it made so many touches with so many possible entries every time it got to it. And then eventually there's separation. Okay, there's separation and the gap begins to diverge. It gets bigger and bigger as it gets more and more bullish. Then eventually it closes and then it crosses over. See the green crossing over to the red, and that signals that the bull market has officially ended when it goes below and it crosses over, right? So you see that it made many touches. And then in 2020, which is equivalent to the bull market year, or sorry, the halving year we're in right now, we can see that right here before the halving as well. Okay, before the halving, there was a gigantic ass drop. There was a drop of 62%. But the halving period was right around here. And after the halving, everybody just went up. It just rallied. And it actually never even touched the bull market support band once. So what this goes to show is that in both years, after the halving, if you buy, the market goes up. And it's only going to go up from there. There might be a small dip, but who cares? By the end of the year, you will always have a higher ROI. And by the end of the bull market cycle, your ROI is also going to be huge if you were to buy right around the halving. That's why my group knows that I've got $500,000 coming in. I'm trying to cash it from my Turkish bank to Binance right now. And I plan to be accumulating 70% of it, $350,000 right away. And I'm going to save $150K to buy perhaps on a dip if we go lower or on strength if we break out. But right now, the portfolio is already huge. I haven't touched any of it. The alts took massive dips, up to 30% for most of them. Okay, and I cashed out of Solana, no longer into Solana because the 1200x rally, 1200% it did. I just don't think it could sustain that anymore. And the all-time high was artificially inflated because of the FTX holdings that helped them pump up the price back during its initial release in 2021. So I don't think that Solana has a lot of room to go, just based off of metrics and data that I've seen already. Okay, so you see here right now, in our bull market support band, we touched it many times. Touch. We went even below it. Now, is it possible that it's going to touch somewhere again here, wherever this bull market support band is? It is possible, but I want to warn you guys that it seems more bullish than bearish right now, because last week we closed off with a dragonfly doji. And every time we get one of these types of candles, we end up rallying. Here's one candle. Here's one candle. Here's another candle. So because of this, these types of hammers or dragonfly dojis, we end up going to the upside afterwards. You can see in this case, and this case, every time we saw this weekly candle, we ended up rallying. So right now, I would say that anything above around $44,000 is going to be a major bull trapped region. So it's going to be difficult to trade this because this one wick on the weekly was so high. It was like an 11% weekly wick. That's where everybody got destroyed. So I don't anticipate a lot of people will take a trade until we clear that particular high. So that's something to watch out for. As it stands right now, and this high, by the way, also coincided at the previous one over here, okay? And also, if you guys didn't know, we hit the golden ratio. Exactly. We nailed the golden ratio. $48,000 was exactly our target, and we nailed that from how long ago did we nail that, guys? So long. So now my next prediction will be we are probably going to form some very distinct pattern. And once we form these types of patterns, we're going to have a better gauge of a potential breakout for Bitcoin. So medium term to long, like medium term to me is like 3 months to 6 months. We're going to be bullish as fuck because of the Bitcoin halving that's around the corner in 2 months and 12 days, okay? February, March, yeah, 2 months and 12 days. That's crazy. I've been talking about the halving for like a year now, being excited about it. Because one thing we do know is that every time there's a halving, it only goes up in price till the end of the year and all the way till the end of the year after to the end of the bull market. So it's a very exciting time to buy Bitcoin and also altcoins near the halving event. Okay, so medium term, long term, super bullish on Bitcoin. Short term, my bias is more so neutral to bearish. Okay, neutral because I think a pattern will form, and bearish because I think another low needs to be made, or it needs to get closer to this bull market support band, or even get a deeper retracement than the 382. Until then, I would not be buying anything quite yet. So I'm holding my horses, okay? Okay, so done with Bitcoin. You guys know my bias and my targets. Okay, my target is going to be, well, actually, you don't know my targets. My target, if we are bearish and we drop lower, I'm expecting still a hit anywhere between $37,000 all the way down to $34,000, which is around the golden ratio range and slightly below the bull market support band. And in terms of targets to the upside, I cannot see it breaking above $48,000 until after the halving event. And right now, till the halving, I can only anticipate either a drop or a consolidation pattern that will occur very distinctly. So that's my prediction for the next little bit. Okay, so moving on. I'm going to review some coins that I traded. So I've been trading a lot of, for example, CKB made a gigantic profit recently on it. I'm up $12,000 just pure trading CKB, and also SUI been doing really well on it. Like CKB has been killer, guys. Like 3,700, 573. Here another $2,000. So CKB's been good. SUI has been incredible as well. Major profits made, $1,515, $848. I took a loss here finally. Then 2,700, and then 2,700. Wow, that's right. And then Link, I traded that for 2,064, and then SUI again. So it's just been heavily revolving around these particular structures, and I'll show you guys it. Okay, so my watch list is always going to be comprised of usually, I'd say 5 to 10 coins. So SUI has been making some really amazing patterns, okay? So if you're familiar with Elliott Wave, you're going to be able to catch these types of trades. And that's what I teach a lot in my course. So if you guys have not taken my course yet, or if you're not in my Discord group, the first 5 people will get a 80% off discount from $1,000 to $200. If you want to learn my strategies and see how I'm making these types of profits all the time. And anybody that's been in my Discord group or has been following me, you guys know I'm definitely one of the more consistent traders out there. Very consistent, lots of losses too, but I still average probably a 75 to 80% win rate just because of how picky I am with my trades and how specific I am with the only types of setups that I take. So here's some really good examples of setups, okay? So in here, I would 100% say that this made an ending diagonal somewhere in here, okay? Somewhere in here, it made a diagonal. Okay, you can see it. You can see it as well. You can see a really crappy diagonal that's being made. So you know that that's a 1, okay? So you know that's a 1, and you can also count this very clearly in here somewhere, okay? You can count that to make it a 1, and this is a 2. You don't need to be specific with where you put it. You just need to know that, put it at the end of 2 where 3 begins. 3, 4, 5. Does that make sense? Right? So that makes a lot of sense if you look at it. So now what you get is you get this structure, right? So now you know that this is one structure. So then when this happens, you know the 4 is forming. And you can even break it down. Like the final wave was so fucking clear, right? Like there's no debating about that. Look how clear that final subwave was that made the 5th wave, right? It made literally the easiest wave to spot. So I didn't short it there. I don't catch tops. So what ended up happening instead was after I identified all of it, I waited for something to form like a trend line. Okay, literally like a trend line. So then what I noticed was something like this. That's where I started trading it. Okay, I started noticing these trend lines over here form a channel. Do you guys see the channel? And then that's where I started to start trading it very heavily around these regions because I saw, first of all, the slope trend line. The channel didn't come into play yet, okay? It didn't come into play at all. Okay, not until it started dropping. Okay, not until it started dropping. But I started shorting the lower highs. And then when it started dropping, just coincidentally did that because I would assume parallelity. And then it ended up bouncing there. And then I caught another trade right here yesterday because I assumed parallelity and that it would take a resistance. Not only that, one of the biggest key things to know about SUI is that it made one of the best trend lines that you will ever see in your life, okay? Do you see this trend line, the white one I drew? Well, it's smashed out of it, right? It's smashed out of it. And that was a trade I took as well, okay? So I took this trade right there, shorting it down. And then I took my profit when it made this gigantic candle, okay? And then I shorted this one specifically because if you see, it tries to get back into that white resistance or that white support. That's now a resistance. But this rejection, okay, this rejection right there, do you guys see it? I was actually long. You can see my loss right here, okay? Actually, sorry, I was short. For this one, I was short. But because I saw the wick going up there, I got scared. I panicked. So I took my loss because I thought it was going to break back up. But it didn't break back up. And then I ended up re-entering it. And that's how I made the $2,700 profit, right? So it went upwards, it bull trapped, and then it came back down. And that's where I got the perfect entry to enter that trade. So not only did it hit the resistance that's making a channel, but it hits the resistance that's forming the sloped one as well. I'll make it yellow. That ended up forming over 8 hours. So whenever you're trading, like you're never gonna get that magical formula, okay? That magical formula of like, oh, if I do this, then I do this, then I do that, then I do that, and it's gonna work out perfect, and I'll make $1 million. Shit doesn't work like that. It's more like, here's 1,000 different skill sets, and now here's 1 million different charts that are all gonna behave differently. Now take those 1,000 skills that you have and try to play I Spy with my little eye and try to see which one of these 1,000 skills that you have might apply to this random chart you're looking at. You know what I mean? So you have to understand that it's like playing detective. You're a detective. You got a lot of different clues, and how are you going to use these clues to find out how bearish or how bullish something is, right? So that's the best way to do it. Not only that, it hits the 1 hour chandelier exit, it hits the channel resistance, it hits the slope resistance. So it made the fucking perfect short. And on a lower time frame, it even did this. Let me show you. Let me show you exactly where I entered it, okay? I entered it exactly right here on the trend line break on a low time frame, right guys? If you guys were in my Discord group, you would know this part. So this part right here, I was watching it for how long, guys? And then it finally breaks this trend line, and that section just fucking broke with force. And then it just kept continuing to the downside, right? So that's how I won. That's how I've been making a lot on SUI. And then now CKB was also super fucking easy to trade, right? So CKB, if you take a look at my profits here, they were all made like, you know, CKB was made on since the, you know, January the 30th, mainly January the 30th. Here's CKB January or February the 1st. So I was trading CKB like basically between here and here, right? Around there. So I was trading this entire structure. I mean, look how beautiful these movements are. So you see a one, like it's so obvious, okay? It's so freaking obvious to me that like the way you see this is a one that's formed. And you know that this is probably a two, this is probably a three somewhere, right? And then the four is coming down in a five. So the first time I started trading it was this short over there. Okay, that short was where I started trading it, shorting the fourth wave. I did not long anything into the fifth wave, okay? So what happened was I zoomed out, okay? It broke this high. My notifications went off. And then I'm like, okay, well, it broke this high. Is there another resistance somewhere far back? Where's the next resistance? There's got to be a resistance somewhere, okay? So then I'm like, okay, well, there's a resistance here, right? 43, and there's a resistance there. So I go back to the chart, right? 43 already broke, so never mind that one. So then I see that the next resistance is this guy up here. So that's probably one of the highest price points it's going to go. And then you say to yourself, how far back was it? And you're like, holy fuck. It was last year in April. Like April, literally. So it's like an 8-month resistance that's hitting it the first time. What are the chances of it breaking? No way it's going to break. No way. It's going to at least get some sort of correction, right? You have to assume that. So as soon as they broke above wave 3, and then it goes up, right? That's step one. You acknowledge the break above wave 3, because then you say, oh, wave 5 is forming. And step two, you go far back to the left to see where the resistance is, and you see it. And then the next thing I like to do is I like to zoom into Elliott wave, right? I love Elliott wave theory. So then I see this as a truncated wave, okay? Like truncated, because it doesn't make sense. It's because what I see is this. Because what happened was you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you see the most impulsive wave, what you must do, okay? Okay, I'm going to write this so it makes more sense. If you see the most impulsive wave, you must assume it's the third wave. Therefore, you can deduce the first wave and assume a fifth can occur. Does that make sense? Okay, guys, if you see this structure right here, you can easily just understand that if it's the most impulsive wave, it must be a third wave. Then you must also say that if that's a third wave, then there's a first wave. And then you say that if this is the third wave, then there must be a fifth wave. So it's all like if and only if statements, or if and statements. So if you're saying that this occurred, then you can deduce and logically guess that something else is going to happen as well after. So when I saw this structure, guys, I was like, fucking easy trade is going to happen next. Okay? Because then the 4 happened, right? The 4 happened right there. And then it literally made the perfect wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Literally. So then it literally just finished the entire perfect fucking structure Like as perfect as anything could ever be in life. 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make the 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make the 5, right? So that's how I caught it. But did I short it right here? Ask yourselves this, guys. Because you count 5 waves, would you have shorted it right there? In most cases, I would, if I saw lots of heavy sell pressure right there, right? Would you have shorted it? But what would a professional do, guys? You can't make this shit up. Just watch this, okay? So what would a professional do instead? Okay, so check this out. I'll show you what a professional would do. Okay, so this was where was the resistance? I remember doing this exactly. And this is important, okay? This high, 4981. Okay, so 4981. Just bear with me for a second, guys. 4891. Okay, so check out this trade of mine for CKB. Where was it? This one right here. Okay, the first trade. 1014. Okay, this is where I entered it. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you the exact entry so you can understand how professionals do it versus noobs. Okay, so I entered here. Okay, so look at this. This broke above it, came down, but I did not enter it yet because I wanted to see a small retest. So it broke above it again, and I did not enter it yet. I waited. Do you guys see right here? Where was it? Wrong screenshot. This one right there. Look, right there. I entered it at, or sorry, not 10, at 8:14. 8:14. So the time that I entered it, hold on, is that the right? Am I looking at the right coin? I'm trying to find the right coin. Frustrating. Hold on, I have a point. Oh no, it was this trade, okay? It was this trade. Yeah, oh yeah, I was in SUI. That's why I didn't play too big of a position on CKB. But nevertheless, the point will be the same. So if you guys notice my entry here, okay? It was at 22.11 and I closed it at 22.21. So the entry was actually right here, 22.11. Did you guys see this? Right here, 22.11. A professional trader will wait until it falls back down below the resistance rather than buying above it and maybe getting bull trapped. That is the difference between a good trader and a bad trader. A bad trader will just try to buy randomly on the tops and they guess it. But a good trader will have a good balance of risk confirmation and also a risk. What's the third one? Risk, confirmation, and profit, right? So trading is delicately balanced between profit, risk, and confirmation. If you want more profit, you're going to have to take on more risk and have less confirmation, right? If you want to have less risk, then you're going to need more confirmation and agree to take less profit. That's usually how it is. So you have to find a delicate balance between all of it. And then I closed my trade roughly around 22. Wow, where did I close my trade? 22.21. So I closed my trade right here for a quick profit. And then right after that, I took a gigantic trade on SUI for $1,500. And then we just kept going from there. So CKB was very easy to trade because of the perfect 5-wave structures that we have seen so far, right? It's literally the most perfect 5-wave structures that you can see. And also SUI was the perfect 5-wave structure as well, where it's just forming very clear patterns and hitting a resistance as well. So I think I'm going to end the stream here, guys. I can go on for a lot longer, but I've worked literally like, I think 13 days in a row or something. I just want to take a day off, man. I'm a little bit tired. $12,000 up. Who gives a shit if you make a few $100s more? Today or last night at 3 in the morning, I took in the link trade. Like, look how late this trade was. No, I don't have the time here. But this trade was fucking late, man. It was like at 4:30 in the morning or something. I was tired. And then I kept these trades open overnight. I entered the SUI trade at 5 in the morning. And when I woke up, right, I lost $66, but I woke up to a $420 profit, which is like what people make in 16 hours, right? So it's like all good. So anyways, I'm going to leave you guys here. I'm going to see if you guys have any questions. No, it doesn't seem like there's any questions. Sorry, Mertuza. This is not one of those YouTubes where I take in requests because, no offense, I don't give a shit about what coin other people are looking at. I only give a shit about the coin I'm looking at. You know what I mean? Sorry to be a dick, but it's just how it is. So if you guys want to join my private Discord group, get a lifetime membership, and also get my new course and the indicator for 80% off, the first 5 people, I'm finally going to check my DMs, will get that 80% off. And last time I did it in January, it sold out in 2 minutes. And I didn't even bother taking a 6th person. So DM me. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.